Hello and welcome to Cavs Daily, your one-stop shop for everything Cavs related, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the place for the true Cavs fan. Whether it's today you just got on board, a year ago, 5, 50, doesn't matter. Appreciate you being on here with me. And even if you just like basketball or you like hearing someone talk about something they love, this is the place for you. Presented by Fan Art, my name is Paul Williams, and let's get to the first topic of the day, which is I want to make sure that I'm clear when I say this. This is not going to be a ranking of who I think are the best players on the Cavaliers. That's not what we're doing today. If you want that for another video, let me know and I'll make it happen. But for today I want to talk about who's the most valuable players going into the 25-26 season. Who do the Cavs need the most to win a championship, which is the ultimate goal with this team? That does differ from just if we're ranking the best players at this very moment. At least to me it does. And I think after you guys hear some of the rankings, you'll see the spots that may differ from if we were ranking just talent-wise. So with that, let's get to let's do this reverse. We're going to start with number 11, or number 12 actually. The guy who I think can be important at some points, but right now just doesn't look like we're going to need him too much in the long run outside of injury replacements, and that's Craig Porter. At 11, I have Dean Wade, who can be a valuable player for the Cavs, and it's not a knock on him. I think it's more just showing the depth of the Cavaliers. Next at 10, I have Jalen Tyson, who is another one. He can make a big impact on this Cavs team, and he's the one that could really move up this list and prove me wrong. But that's just where I have him right now, right ahead of Sam Merrill, who comes in next at number 9. And then at number 8, I have Larry Nance Jr., who I think is going to play a bigger role than most people expect this year. And I think if we do make the run I'm hoping and thinking we can make, he will be a big part of that. Then at number 7, we have DeAndre Hunter, a newer Cavalier, came on board midseason last season, has been pretty much everything we can ask for outside of injury-riddled series versus the Indiana Pacers. Hunter came over from Atlanta, averaging off almost 19 points a game off the bench, the leading bench scorer, and he is the leading candidate to win Sixth Man of the Year this year, which just says a lot about him as a player and his obvious importance to this Cavs team. At 6, I have Max Strus. A lot of people might swap that out and probably put a Hunter in front of the guy I have next, but to me, just for this team right now, this season, I just think Max Strus is a very, very important piece. The role he plays for us since coming over from Miami 2 years ago, it's been huge. It's been the perfect fit around a bunch of guys that could score and put the ball in the basket and play defense and facilitate. He could just kind of pick up and do a little bit of everything. When he's hot, he can drop 20 for us. When he's not getting his shots up as much, he's still playing great defense. He's still moving around on offense and drawing defense towards him. So I think he is a very valuable player for this Cavaliers team. And then at number 5, we got Lonzo Ball. Yeah, Lonzo Ball ahead of every name I just named. And obviously this hinges on his health, and prayers up for that. But assuming health, assuming 60 games and a healthy playoffs, which I don't think is like me being too crazy. Yes, I know his history. I also knew Ty Jerome's history before last year, as well as a lot of other guys that came back from injuries like Sean Livingston. But I just think Lonzo Ball is the perfect fit on this Cavaliers team, and I think he should be a favorite for Sixth Man of the Year. I think the only reason he isn't is because of health and because the Cavs are so stacked and have DeAndre Hunter coming off the bench already. But Lonzo Ball, mark my words right now, will be a huge piece for the Cavs this year. Now, if he goes out and breaks his foot in Game 1, what can I say? I was wrong for reasons that I could kind of foresee. But we're not operating off of that right now. And with what we're going off of, assuming decent health, I think Lonzo Ball is the fifth most important Cav this year. At number 4, we have the Fro himself, J.A. Jared Allen. I mean, he's just such a solid, consistent center. Top 10, been that way for a long time. And he's a important piece, even though we sometimes forget that. Number 3, we got DG, the PG. Darius, he's an all-star talent. I mean, I saw it from day one with him. The way he is with the ball, the way he facilitates, the way he shoots, the way he can just do everything on offense. And while his defensive shortcomings are well known, when he's really locked in, healthy, and trying his hardest, he can be at least passable on defense. And with what he brings on offense, he's a very important player. And we forget, he hit a lot of huge shots throughout the season this year, which we will talk about on later shows. At number 2, we have Donovan Mitchell. Yep, Donovan Mitchell is the second most important Cavalier going into the 25-26 season. I think you know who number 1 is then, so I'll just kind of bunch them together. I do have Evan at 1. I just think while Donovan is the superstar right now of the team and first team All-NBA player, Evan Mobley isn't far behind as a second team All-NBA player, the reigning defensive player of the year, and one of the favorites to win it again. Plus, at his age, with Donovan just turning 29, he's in smack dab in the middle of his prime, and we see it every night as Cavs fans. But Evan Mobley has a prime that he hasn't hit yet, and that could happen this year or next year or the year after. But when it does, it's going to be scary for the league, and we saw a big, big glimpse of it last season. And I just think him taking that step is the difference between a really tough out in the playoffs to a championship team this season. For those reasons, I think Evan Mobley is the most important Cav going into this year. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments and we could talk about it. Now, rewinding back to the 10th most important Cav this year, Jalen Tyson. Tyson did not get a lot of time last year. Obviously, you know that if you watched or followed the Cavs at all. That doesn't mean he's not a good player or can't be an important piece for us this year or next year. It's just we do have a roster full of really, really capable guys, so it's tough to find time. He showed out in the Summer League this year with averages of 20 points, 6.7 assists, 6 rebounds, over a block, over a steal. I mean, he was top 5 in assists in the league for the Summer League. So he showed that he can do more than just be like a 3-and-D type guy, even though he can knock down a 3 as well. His sophomore year in college, he shot over 40% from 3. And let's take it back a little bit with Tyson. He was a 4-star recruit in Texas, stayed in the Texas area for college at first as he went to Texas University for his freshman year before transferring to Texas Tech his second year, and then finally finishing his college career at Cal the year before we drafted him in 2024. He was a solid player in college, did a little bit of everything, averaged 20 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists his junior year for Cal, which resulted in him being the 20th pick in the 2024 draft, where we scooped him up, and I wasn't mad at it then, and I'm not mad at it now. A 6'6", 215-pound shooting guard / small forward. He's just going to be a guy that fills in the gaps. If it's a point guard, shooting guard, small forward, even power forward that's out or missing time for whatever reason, I think Tyson could be the guy that picks up those extra 15 minutes a game. And the Cavs can run so many different rotations around him that I think he can become a very, very, very valuable guy for the Cavs. And I do think he's going to get a little bit of a shot this year to start the season with DG and Max being out. So look for him. That's going to be one thing to watch early in the season if you're looking for some. Let's see if Tyson gets the opportunities and if he can run with them. Because if he does get some time due to injuries to start the year and he plays well, who knows? He could carve out a role on this team and a spot in the rotation, and then our bench is just looking disgusting with Lonzo, Larry Nance, DeAndre Hunter, and then a rising Jalen Tyson would be beautiful. So let's just keep our eye on that. Cheer for this kid. He's a Cavalier. He seems like a good guy. His younger brother Jordan is playing football at Arizona State. And yeah, it just seems like Jalen Tyson is knocking on the door, and this year may be his opportunity. Now, to totally switch it up, let's talk a little bit about last season, and we're going to go through some of the best games of the year throughout the next few weeks as we lead up to opening tip-off in just 42 days. But if we're thinking about last year and talking about some of the best games, I don't think you can start that conversation no matter what team you're talking, what team's point of view you're talking from. The best game of the year last year was played in January in Cleveland between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Thunder came in at 30-5, Cavs at 31-4. That was a record in itself to have two teams meet that late in the season with those type of records. The OKC Thunder were coming in on a 15-game winning streak, even though there's an asterisk. They lost in the cup, but whatever. They were coming in on a 15-game winning streak. The Cavs were coming in on a 10-game winning streak, which was only the third time teams have met in the regular season with that happening. And the Cavs, I mean, they delivered. They showed why people were right to have confidence in them being a truly championship level team. I don't care what anyone says. That was a playoff atmospheric game, and that was a preview of what a finals could look like. And the Cavs showed the depth they have as Donovan Mitchell only scored 11 points. The Cavs took a 1-point lead into the fourth quarter and were able to pull away thanks to a couple big buckets by Evan Mobley late and a couple big buckets, especially a three with about a minute left from Darius Garland to kind of seal the deal. Jared Allen balled out that game. He had 25 points. Evan also balled out. Darius balled out. We just got contributions up and down the roster, and it was just a special game to be a regular season game because you usually don't get that type of atmosphere. So I think that, without question, was the game of the year as we ended the Thunder's winning streak with a 129-122 victory, pulling away late. It gave us our 11th straight win at the time, and it made us 11-0 against the West and 19-1 overall at home. Those are beyond dominant numbers, and that stuff we can't just write off because of a frustrating playoff loss. And yeah, I'll always think about that game and how much fun it was watching the Cavs play against another high-level team and seeing so many different players step up to get that big win. And that game is going to lead this best games of last season little mini series within the show that we'll be doing from here on out. Yeah, that was the best game of the year. OKC at Cleveland. Cleveland wins 129-122. And speaking of OKC, for the last topic of the day, I just have to say how I feel. The Cleveland Cavaliers are better than the Oklahoma City Thunder. Stamp it, mark it down, whatever you have to do. I truly believe that. And there are reasons why. I mean, and a lot of it showed in that first game we played. Our depth compared to their depth, I think we went out there. They have Shea, we have Donovan. Shea is a higher marketed guy. He's the reigning MVP. Got to give him his props for that. But our guy is a dog too, and I'll go to war with him anytime. They don't have another. They have Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, and SGA. All very good players, but I think Chet's been overrated so far. His defense is solid, but he disappears on offense a lot. I don't think he's the problem people want him to be just yet in the league. Jalen Williams had a great season last year, took a leap. Not going to knock him. Do need to see it again before he's certified. And Hardenstein is a solid center. I'll take Jared Allen over him any day. Then you go into the bench with Kendrick Williams, Isaiah Joe, people like that, Carson Wallace. They have some names, but I'll take DeAndre Hunter, Lonzo Ball, Larry Nance, those guys any day. And I just think the Cavs in a 7-game series would beat the OKC Thunder. I think both defenses are about equal when playing at the same level, playing at their best. But I think the Cavs' offense is a little better, and I think the Cavs have better clutch time performers. So if it came down to a close game, like it did the first time we play, I do think guys like Donovan and Darius and Evan Mobley would be the difference, as I do think that they would perform better in the clutch than OKC, who honestly should have lost to Denver in the second round last year. They didn't. They ended up winning the championship against the Pacers, who they almost blew it against the Pacers without Halliburton's injury. Who knows if they even win that? So, yeah, they're the champs, but they're not like, oh my gosh, this is this unbeatable team. Let's see if other teams have good health next year, if we even see them in the finals. We will be there. I'm telling you that right now. This team, the Cavs, will be there. OKC, if you want to prove my theory wrong that the Cavs would win a 7-game series, make the finals because we'll be there. I don't think they do, though, so I don't think that series is going to happen. But if it did, the Cavs win 4-2. I said it. It's what it is. And with that comes the end of this show. I appreciate you guys hanging with me like always. I forgot to ask. I don't really like to ask. But if you can, sub, like, subscribe. Please subscribe if you like this at all. Would love to have you along every day with me going forward. And until I see you guys tomorrow, thank you and have a wonderful day.